Cha-cha, hello my friend, and welcome to the third chapter of the Changeling's Call. It is a beautiful day today. It's a bit windy, but it's lovely and warm, and it's Brian's birthday. And I got a bit of feedback on the last video, which was in my front yard, that the sound quality was a bit better than inside because inside it was too echoey. So I'm trying outside today, and I've got a little doggy here, bear with me. So let's get started on chapter 3, The Change of Fortune. Of course, nothing good or bad can last forever. Not a year later, as Orla was about to turn 17, their good luck faltered. The sheep had just been shorn, and Connor had taken the wool on their rickety wooden cart all the way to Donegal to have it processed into yarn. Some of it he would sell outright, and some he would trade for finished yarn that he would bring home to be knitted into jumpers for the family. Aoife was so talented a knitter that they were even able to sell some jumpers in town, even though most families in the area kept sheep and had their own yarn. Orla tended the sheep in his absence, proud that she could pretty much run the farm on her own now, at least for a while. He was gone quite some time, and finally returned about 3 days after they were expecting him. Orla was the one who spotted him first, and ran to greet him with delight, excited to show off the new song she had written. But as she came closer, she saw he looked pale and thinner, and his posture was that of an older man. Nevertheless, his eyes lit up and his face broke into a grin when he saw her. "There's my lass," he cried. "Come see the coins we made for your dowry." This had become a bit of a joke between them, and Orla rolled her eyes. She took the cart from him, and they walked slowly up to the cottage, when Aoife's delighted smile quickly dissolved into a look of worry. Connor leaned down for a kiss, but she reached up to feel his forehead instead. "You've a fever burning like the sun, love," and she hastened to her small cupboard of dried herbs and barks, methodically grabbing many items and her mortar and pestle. Her herb cupboard was well stocked and meticulously organized into its many glass jars and little wooden boxes, and neighbors often came calling to borrow something for a family ailment. Connor was proud of her herb craft, but jokingly chided her about it, saying that if she ever asked him to build her a second cupboard, she would officially be the town witch. "Put the water to boil, Orla," she commanded, "and find a clean bit of cloth for a compress." Usually when he came home from these trips, they would drop what they were working on and listen with great interest to his tales of the people and things he had seen on the trip. Orla especially enjoyed these stories, as she had not yet been outside their town except for once when her father took her to see the ocean. Their friends had called Connor a fool to make such a long trip that would not even earn them any money, but he had simply said that it was important for a child to see how big the world was. But this time, no stories came. Connor sat by the fire looking at his family happily for a minute, then fell asleep. Even with his eyes closed, he looked strained, and the hollows of his eyes looked eerily dark. Aoife woke him to drink some foul-tasting tea, and then had him laid down with a warm, fragrant compress on his chest. With his shirt off, she could see a patch of red, irritated skin. It looked just like she remembered her mother's face looking 20 years ago, and her heart sank. She took a deep breath as her eyes filled with tears. "Don't cry, love," Connor implored softly. "Our Orla is never touched by illness." Over the next few weeks, Orla did everything she could to help her mother care for her father and keep up with the care of the sheep. She sang for him whenever he was awake. One day she was elated when her mother announced that the fever had broken, but for some reason this did not make her mother act more hopeful. Spring was in full glory now, and new lambs were being born. The clearing was a riot of colors as each day brought more wild flowers into bloom. Those in town who had been sick over the winter were healed and back to their usual activities, which made the village feel busier and more gay every time Orla went to town to buy milk or more herbs for her father. But even as life bloomed and thrived outside their door, Connor was growing weaker every day. Aoife became quiet and would often forget to eat unless Orla made her join her for a meal. Even though she mercifully had not caught the illness, it almost seemed as though Aoife was also sick. She looked so pale and thin with worry. Through it all, Connor remained in good spirits and kept telling them that he would recover. There were no speeches, no instructions, and no heartfelt goodbyes. One beautiful sunny morning, they woke up and he was gone. The whole time he'd been sick, Orla had been under strict orders not to touch him, but now she laid her head on his chest and embraced him one last time, as tears streamed down her face. "I love you, Da," she whispered, and just like that, her life as his golden princess was over. Sorry, a bit of a sad one today, and a short one as well. Oh, and by the way, do you like my fairy earrings? Brian got these for me. Alright, thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time for chapter 4. Have a beautiful day.